Hello everyone, my name is Brayden. This is Airless Quill 9, and in today's video we are going to continue our coverage of the Forgotten Realms Heroes of Faerun book, and we are going to take a look at the revised Knowledge Domain Cleric subclass. So this subclass was present in the 2014 Player's Handbook, but it was not present in the 2024 revision. So this is a revised subclass for the Cleric now, and we're going to take a look at it and talk about what changes they have made to this subclass. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight to it. So the Knowledge Domain is intended to unearth secrets and master the mind. The text here states that the Knowledge Domain values learning and understanding above all. Clerics who tap into this domain study esoteric lore, collect old tomes, delve into secret places, and examine the processes of the mind. To them, knowledge is more valuable than material wealth, and learning is an act of worship. Libraries, universities, and other educational institutions also draw on the power of the Knowledge Domain. Gods of knowledge vary from masters of arcane magic to patrons of craft and invention. In Faerun, clerics of the Knowledge Domain worship deities of learning and ingenuity such as Agma and Gond, among many others. So the Knowledge Domain is also pretty well poised to not only be an option in a Forgotten Realms campaign, but you could use it in any setting as long as there are deities that prescribe to learning and ingenuity. So nice, very good. So let's go ahead and talk about subclass features. The first feature that we're going to talk about is at level 3. This is called Blessings of Knowledge. It states that you gain proficiency with one type of artisan's tools of your choice and in one of the following skills of your choice: Arcana, History, Nature, or Religion. You have expertise in those two skills. So this is pretty good feature. Not only do you gain proficiency in an artisan tool of your choice, but you also choose 2 skills from Arcana, History, Nature, and Religion. And not only do you become proficient in those, you also have expertise in those 2 skills. So very nice. That means you could have a very good bonus to any of those knowledge-based skills as a cleric, especially if you're in the 2024 rules. Clerics now get to choose at level 1 whether or not they want proficiency in heavy armor and martial weapons, or whether or not they want to be more cleric-y based, more scholarly, and they gain a cantrip. Then they can add their wisdom modifier to, I believe it's Arcana and Religion checks, I want to say. Those are the 2. It's at very least Religion. But you could have a very, very good bonus to skill checks with this particular subclass, and I really like that. It really hammers down the fact that you are well learned as a Knowledge Domain Cleric. But that is not the only feature we get at level 3. Also at level 3, we gain Knowledge Domain spells. And Knowledge Domain spells state that when you reach a cleric level specified in the Knowledge Domain spells table, you thereafter always have the list of spells prepared. And as a Knowledge Domain Cleric, we gain a lot of spells. At level 3, these are always prepared spells. We have Command, Comprehend Languages, Detect Magic, Detect Thoughts, Identify, and Mind Spike. Do keep in mind that these are 4 first level and 2 second level, which is kind of interesting, because at level 5, 7, and 9, we gain 3 always prepared spells of those particular levels. At 5th level, it's Dispel Magic, Non-Detection, and Tongues. 7th level is Arcane Eye, Banishment, and Confusion, and 9th level is Legend, Lore, Scrying, and Synaptic Static. There is also an asterisk available in this table because the asterisk determines or helps delineate which of these spells are of the Divination School of Magic, and this is important for the final level 3 feature. But I do want to say I really like that the Knowledge Domain Cleric has so many spells prepared here, because not only are these a bunch of utility spells for the most part, but there are also some really cool options here. Command is really great here. Mind Spike is really good. Dispel Magic is great to always have prepared. Banishment and Confusion are really good. Synaptic Static does some really good damage. But I'm just naming off some of the ones that I like. There's a lot of utility spells here that are really great, such as Comprehend Languages, Identify, Detect Thoughts, Detect Magic. Tongues is also really great and useful depending on the setting. Arcane Eye is really neat. Legend, Lore, and Scrying. Lot of great options on the spell list, and it's nice that there's so many options available here. You're really gonna feel like you just have a lot of options available to you as a Knowledge Domain Cleric. And that kind of feeds into the final level 3 feature that we get as a Knowledge Domain Cleric. At level 3, we also get a feature called Mind Magic. This states that as a magic action, you can expend 1 use of your channel divinity to manifest your magical knowledge. Choose 1 spell from the Divination School on the Knowledge Domain Spells table that you have prepared. As part of that action, you cast that spell without expending a spell slot or needing material components. So if we go back to this feature now, we can see that those options are Detect Magic, Detect Thoughts, Identify, Mind Spike, Tongues, Arcane Eye, Legend, Lore, and Scrying. And honestly, these are all decent options. Now, whether or not you're going to use this feature a whole lot is really dependent on the campaign that you're in. At the very least, this is a great way for you to just cast Identify when you need to without expending a spell slot or requiring the material component for it. But on the other hand, you can also cast something really fun like Mind Spike if you need a damage dealing spell and you're out of spell slots to cast it, or just don't want to spend as many spell slots. Tongues is great if you need to talk with people and you don't have the language in your repertoire. Arcane Eye is really good for scouting, and then Legend Lore is really good for learning things, and Scrying is really good for contacting other people, which I've used Scrying quite a bit, so I know that that is very useful in the campaigns that I play in. But yeah, Mind Magic could be very useful, and since it will scale as you gain in levels, and you can cast other spells with this as you gain levels in the subclass, this is a pretty decent feature in my opinion. I don't think everyone is going to get as much use out of this feature as maybe I would in some of the campaigns that I've played in and have run, but I see this feature as being particularly useful, especially at 9th level for scrying, because I've used scrying so many times in campaigns, it's not even funny. So yeah, I really like Mind Magic, and I think it's really neat, and it's a nice additional option to use your channel divinity if you're not using any of the main options from the cleric class itself. So I quite like it. Now at level 6, we get a feature called Unfettered Mind. This grants us telepathy out to 60 feet, which is really good. And when we use this telepathy, we can simultaneously contact a number of creatures equal to our wisdom modifier, a minimum of 1. So that's pretty neat, and telepathy is really broad. There's not a whole lot of restrictions on this telepathy at all, other than the addition of you being able to simultaneously contact a number of creatures equal to that wisdom modifier. So I like that addition. This seems pretty cool, and this is a great way to like silently communicate things to your party. So I quite like that versatility there. Additionally, you also gain proficiency in intelligence saving throws. However, if for some reason you already have that proficiency, you instead gain saving throw proficiency in one ability in which you lack. So let's say, for example, you have multi-classed and you have proficiency in intelligence saving throws, or if for some reason at level 4 you chose to take the resilient feat to gain proficiency in intelligence saving throws, you could choose any other saving throw proficiency which you don't already have. So dexterity saving throws, strength saving throws, constitution saving throws, really good options for a cleric to take, specifically constitution. That would be the main option there. So this is a really good feature in my opinion. It's very versatile. It works really well if multi-classing. However, I can see people taking advantage of that, unfortunately, but it's a very good feature in my opinion. And even if you don't multi-class and you just take this feature as is, having saving throw proficiency in all of your mental stats is really good, because those are really common saving throws. Granted, intelligence is not as common as most saving throws, but just having that protection that you wouldn't have had otherwise is really cool to see. So I quite like this feature. And last but not least, at level 17, we gain Divine Foreknowledge. This states that as a bonus action, you can magically expand your mind to the future. For 1 hour, you have advantage on D20 tests, and once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. However, you can restore your use of this feature by expending a level 6+ spell slot, no action required to do so. So, Divine Foreknowledge is actually really, really good. It is essentially half of the Foresight spell. You gain all the advantages. The only thing that you don't gain that you would have otherwise gained from casting Foreknowledge, which is a level 9 spell, would be disadvantage on attack rolls targeting you. So this is a very good feature, honestly. And the fact that you can also gain it back if you really want to is also really nice. But you do have a free use of this. And I can see the argument being that there's not a whole lot that clerics are going to get from having advantage on D20 tests, but you have to take into account that this is advantage on not only ability checks, but also saving throws and attack rolls. And there are plenty of attack roll spells that you can cast. There are not many on the cleric spell list, but there are options there. Mind Spike, is Mind Spike one of them? It might not. I might be misremembering. But Guiding Bolt is one of those. That's a great option there. You also have advantage on all saving throws, which honestly, it's very likely that you'll be making saving throws during a combat encounter, so that's really useful. And now a lot of saving throw and a lot of spells, in order to get out of them, there are quite a few that require you to make ability checks as well, so having advantage on those are also really decent. So I think this feature has a lot of potential, and I do see you popping this during combat immediately once you enter it, or if you know you're about to enter into a combat. popping this before the battle and really taking advantage of this. I think this is a really cool capstone for the Knowledge Cleric, and I really like it. I think this is a very, very good subclass, and I really like what they have done with the Knowledge Domain. I may be in the minority, but I think this is really cool, and I really like the changes that they have done to this subclass. So yeah, that's going to be it for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I really did. I really like the Knowledge Domain Cleric, if that wasn't apparent. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this particular subclass, and if you have any reservations or things that you don't like that they have done here. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you all in the next video. See you later.